How's everybody doing? Doing great.
Opening statement, and then we'll go right into questions.
Great to be out here inside the stadium for scrimmage. As close to a game day environment as we're going to get before we kick off here in a few weeks. A lot of good, a lot of things to learn from too. Got situational football in, which is good for everybody, in particular quarterbacks. But excited to go watch the tape. So. Open it up. I also wanted to say this too. You guys can see we got a ton of families that are here for today's scrimmage. So appreciate all of them coming by, and it's always great to get our entire family together.
How do you think the quarterback benefited from being in this setting? What did you like?
Yeah, it's as close to game day. We try to make practice like game day when we get into our team periods. How we function, operate. Make it game day like officials, that type of thing. But this is as close as you're going to get. So them having to own it, control situations, unique situations that come on just in the normal flow. And then, the situations that we put them in, 4-minute coming out today. Football awareness and control and everything.
Did you do well in those things?
Yeah, overall, there's a few things that we can clean up at quarterback, but really on both sides of the football too, some subtle details, which at this point in training camp, you're constantly growing and pushing to go master the details of the game, and that doesn't just end during training camp. Good teams continue to get better throughout the course of the season, and these guys have had a good mindset, have grown each day, but we got a lot more that we got to get to before we get to kickoff.
So how does game like injuries is game like? So how do you manage during fall camp, having so many guys out, but yet still letting these guys go full ball without getting more injured?
Matter in keeping guys healthy. Some of it you can't control. Guys have continued to push and take advantage of their opportunities during the course of the season. Game day from week to week, there's an ebb and flow, and next guy's got to be ready to go. And our guys that have been out, some of those guys are coming back. I like what they've done, in particular in our walkthroughs, the detail of it. But as a football team, we just got to continue to grow.
Josh, does it change any of your evaluation of anything when you go, we're not full speed, maybe with at this position or that position? Does it change quarterback? Does it change anything when you're evaluating and watching tape?
Well, I think you understand the totality of what's going on in the situations that they're put in. But in each phase of the game, it truly is the details, and that's for all 11 guys continuing to grow. And the guys that didn't get that rep, one of the things we talk about is not making the same mistake twice. And if you want to be elite, you learn from the guys that made a mistake that you weren't in on and that are playing your position. And I like the growth that we've seen. There's a lot more out there for us still.
Is the picture any clearer at quarterback with James?
I'm not naming a starter today. All right. But all three of those guys have shown some really good characteristics of doing some special things with the ball, also managing the game, eliminating negatives. And there's some things that, each of them and collectively as a group, we got to get better at. And that's always the nature of it at this point in training camp.
With Joey, obviously, he spent a lot of the summer learning the offense. How has he sort of run the offense, run it since he's been here in his first scrimmage?
Yeah, with what we're doing offensively in our installs, from protections to run game, controlling it, and what he's seen on the other side of football, how multiple we've been here in the early part of training camp. I really like overall what he's done. There's still more for him within the structure and the details of it, but I like what he's done.
I know you're not naming a starter, but do you adjust reps in any way after this scrimmage?
We haven't gotten a chance to go watch tape, so
But traditionally, would you?
if you want to hold a press conference afterwards, I'll be able to answer. Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't anticipate us dramatically changing the reps right now.
Where are you at the end of week 2 with this team, and what do you still want to see improve?
Yeah, 8 practices in. There's been good growth. Practices have been competitive. They've been physical, good fundamental and technique growth, which ultimately leads you to being in position to go make plays in all phases of the game. We still have a lot left individually and collectively by unit to continue to be our best. So growth mindset, and let's continue to push.
Were Staley and Matthews involved, and what did you see?
I'm sorry.
Braylon Staley and Mike Matthews, were they involved?
Braylon was not. Mike was. Mike did a good job today. He's been with us the last couple of days.
Everybody talks about Joey because of his experience, or Merkley because he's been here, but George is kind of that guy kind of laying the lead. What have you seen in him through 2 weeks?
Yeah.
That gives him a real shot to potentially win the job or earn it down the line.
Well, I think George, we challenged him post-spring ball in some of the areas that he had to grow, some of that physical, some of that fundamental and technique. You've seen a lot of that growth from him, and you've seen his level of play be dramatically different than where we finished spring ball, and that's from day one of training camp. He's had good presence, good control of what we're doing. There's some areas that he's going to have to continue to grow in, as all of our players have to do at this point. But I've really liked what George has done so far.
What do you like in the line of scrimmage? I'm sorry, Ben, go ahead. I've asked like before. Go ahead.
With the receivers being in and out of the lineup the first 2 weeks, did you like what you saw from the group collectively today, given their circumstances?
Yeah, overall, I thought, they made a few plays. There's some important plays that are there to make, but they operated relatively efficiently in the confines of what we're doing offensively. And for them, there's some subtle details in how they operate that this is as close as they get to game day 2, which is going to be a great learning experience from them. But overall, I really like what they've done.
Is Boo getting receiver reps, and what have you seen from him over the last week that has allowed him to get back in the fold?
When we started training camp and I talked to you guys, there were steps that he had to take, continue to earn his place, in the scope of what we're doing as a football team. He has taken those steps. He's continued to grow. I like what he's been able to do here, in particular the last 4 days. What's going to transpire, it's a day-to-day, we're taking it day-to-day at this point, I guess is the best way to say it.
Was he involved today?
What's that?
Was Boo involved today?
Boo was involved in what we were doing, yeah.
David Sanders mentioned earlier, before we put on this additional weight, he's getting pushed around by guys like Don Bailey and them. How did he look out there on the field today with that extra weight and not maybe having so much coaching as you're going through those reps?
I thought David has done a really good job. 8 practices in throughout training camp. I thought today he handled himself extremely well. Really good player in spring ball. Continue to grow mentally and physically, and then the fundamentals and technique too. So here through the early part of training camp, he's done a really good job for a young football player. I expect him to play at a really high level.
What's your takeaway from your defense? You've asked 9 minutes of offensive questions. What do you take away from your defense as you leave today?
I like how hard they are playing. We use the word attack, playing through the echo of the whistle, how they're running to the football, the ability to not go 1-for-1 out in space and in the core, block destruction. For us, in the details of what we're doing, from a shift, trade, motion, whatever it may be, all 3 levels communicating, be on the same page. We've been solid, but there's more growth for us on a play in, play out basis right now with 1s, 2s, and 3s, but they've had a great mindset and they continue to grow.
How optimistic are you about Jamad going out there and doing some things yesterday that he's on schedule?
Yeah, cool moment for Jamad. Big moment, getting back on the field and doing some of the individual work. It was cool to see the way his brothers were excited for him in that moment and how big that was too. And he broke us down before practice, and he's done an elite job throughout his rehab. And there's still more that he's got to continue to do, but excited to get him back out with us.
Where do you feel like you're at center with Sad and Sam? Or is that
Yeah.
sort of competition midway through camp here?
Yeah, still a competition. Ultimately, who the starting 5 are, moving pieces, find the best 5 that fit cohesively together. At that position, multiple guys got to be ready to go play and potentially have some moving parts as far as, guys sliding from center to guard to tackle, whatever it might be. Those guys have repped extremely hard. They're playing hard. They're playing well as a group with the moving pieces too. The communication, I think, has been really solid. But we're 8 practices in. There's a lot more for us to continue to get to.
Have you seen a step forward from Star Thomas from spring till now?
Yeah, dramatically different player. Just his body, his movement, explosiveness, his physicality with the ball and without the ball. Some of the details and fundamentals that it takes, in pass protection, special teams as well. He's done an elite job from end of spring ball to where we are practice 8.
How did Edwin Spillman maybe affect the quarterbacks today?
Yeah, Edwin, made a couple plays behind the line of scrimmage. He's taken a step as a leader. He's taken a step in his understanding and ownership of what we're doing defensively, his ability to communicate, get all 3 levels on the same page. Young player that's only going to continue to get better. He pushes extremely hard every day to go chase his best.
All right, thank you all.
All right, thank you guys and gals. Have a great day.
Sure you don't want to have starter?